Hello, 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 and welcome back to the 12. This is a show about the Women's Super League, aka the highest division of women's football in England. We're here to discuss all things WSL, both on and off the field. Each week, we'll be breaking down games, showcasing stars, and highlighting important stories surrounding the game. My name is Deepti, and I'm here with my co hosts, Marc, Thom Bomb, and Treb. And this week, it's about crashing out. This whole episode, we're about to crash out and crash out hard. Um, that's it. We should just get right into it because the whole thing, and by most of us, I mean all of us, mostly me and Treb, just as being Arsenal fans, and what has happened today. Like what time is it? It's almost midnight here, local time. So about 6 hours ago, four hours after the match ended. That was just the cherry on top, the Champions League game. But yeah, this starting from the weekend match all the way to now, it's just gonna be a big crash out. Thom and Marc, you can choose what you want to crash out on as well, because I'm sure there are definitely things.
Listen. We're going to talk about this first match, and all I wrote in the doc is Thom clears out and lets his co-host do work. So let's get into this first match.
Yeah, let us get into it. It was the London Derby. It was Arsenal versus Chelsea at the Emirates. It ended 1-1. But there was so much more that happened than what a 1-1 scoreline may look like. Starting off with Arsenal just like was so sleepy in the first 10 minutes. Chelsea almost scored within, I think it was like in the first 3 minutes or first 5 minutes or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember who took the shot, but it hit
JRK.
the JRK. Okay, especially if it was her. When she was scored on us in the first few minutes. What are you doing,
Not
Arsenal?
JRK. Oh, God.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. She took
Oh,
it like an outside of the boot and it hit the post. Yeah,
yeah, hit the post, was nearly 1-0 immediate, or I should say 0-1 for us immediately. Um, then in the first 10-ish minutes, I'll say Chelsea was just like attack, attack, attack. And then finally started getting the groove. Arsenal was attacking better. We just couldn't do anything once we got into the final third. Like for some reason, they just, I don't know, make silly mistakes like they don't shoot. They take extra touches, way too many touches, or they just shoot like directly at the goalkeeper and not with any like power or anything. But at least they were still like showing some signs of attack. But then, of course, there is Europe's worst nightmare in Alyssa Thompson, um, the speedy queen who no one can even come close to like touching. And as soon as Alyssa runs at anyone, they get so scared. And honestly, hers was a really nice finish. I have to give it to her. But it just seems like everyone just froze. Like they gave so much space to run, and then she just shot the ball from like
Kristen Press
yes,
she was proud of that finish. I'm sure she watched that finish and smiled.
yes, she absolutely did. And like the only consolation for me was that it was Alyssa Thompson. I was like, if anyone has to score, let it be her or Kat, and that's about it. It's like, um, that one, okay. I feel like that kind of woke like sparked Arsenal a bit more. Um, Still kept going, whatever. Then there was a set piece attempt from a corner. Very soon, not I don't remember what minute it was now. I want to say I don't remember actually. Um, but
it's in the
anyway,
second half.
corner the start of the second half, right? Like coming in, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, first half was still like 1-0. Second half came out pretty strong. Get a corner. Corner drops to like on one of the rebounds, drops to Stina Blackstenius. She like skies it into the roof of the net. Seems like we scored, and everyone in the stadium, I was there, right? And so everyone in the stadium was like cheering. They played the music. We were like doing the whole cheers for Stina and everything. And then everyone starts to realize we're like, wait, why is Hannah Hampton? Why does she have the ball? Why is she about to kick? What's happening? Um, and then we realized that it was called off. And they don't explain anything when you're there. They're just like, and you can't tell what the like referee's saying or anything. And she wasn't really making any motion, or at least we missed like the what the call was. But it just seemed like they got a free kick for what may have been a foul, what may have been, we don't know. But goal was called off. It took, you guys can say on your end, like it took the broadcast a while to figure it out as well, right? Um,
Well, the broadcast took a smooth 5 minutes to figure out oh wait, why was that not a goal? It was a marked delay.
yes. And it was for a handball, which was a non-existent handball. Because if you look at the replay, see, we were all like, none of us could see, you can't see a replay properly in the stadium. So we were like, oh, they just said it was a handball. Maybe it was. I was also on the far and on the other side, so I could see it even less. Um, but none of us were convinced. And then after like messaging you guys, see what everyone else online was saying, I was like, okay, if once I watch this replay, I know I'm gonna be so mad. So there was that non-existent handball. Goal got called off. It's still 0-1. We still keep going and whatever. I think it was a fairly even match, like as we expected. Treb and I think thought like, Arsenal had the upper edge because Chelsea's looked pretty vulnerable. So we expected a bit more. Finally, like in the later, like 80 something minute, Russo gets a goal, which to be honest, she probably was offside on that one, and it seemed like it was just a goal given back,
Alessia
as like
Russo was that was a Alex Morgan goal. She was 100% offside.
she was offside, but yet the goal was given. It seemed like a makeup call from, like, getting the handball one wrong, and it was 1-1. And then we still were like, "No, we're gonna still keep going, don't settle for a draw, keep attacking." And another nice, like, run of play. Ball gets to Freedom on him, and she scores. But this one, sideline ref waves a flag and is like, no, offside. Which this one on replay also looked really tight. And like there was probably whoever the far side defender was probably keeping her on, maybe by a foot, maybe she was off by a toe, I don't know. But definitely not something that like the ref could have like made out with just like with her eyes, I think. Um, anyway, it ended 1-1. We were all the best part was at the end of the match. Like obviously like the players got a load of cheers, but when the refs were walking away, there imagine 56,000 people booing at you and just like that atmosphere, it was fantastic. Everyone was in on it. And it was like the loudest the stadium was like booing the refs right at the end. Um, all this to say, Arsenal should have probably won 2-1. It ended 1-1 draw. We did drop points. Title race probably over, not like mathematically over, obviously, but likely to be over. And I'm just angry that we don't have VAR and that again, we're gonna get on the soapbox of invest in VAR because that would have you just need it. At this point, you just need it.
So, um, actually, I'll address the last point first because I was thinking about that as well. Um, yes, we need VAR, and we've kind of talked about why we don't have VAR, right? It's the technology, it's the stadiums, it's the infrastructure, it's all that, right? I think I don't know if we covered it on this podcast, but I know we've talked about what they're doing in Spain's women's league, where they're doing the sort of uh like basically like a little bit of VAR where like the coaches have challenges and there are some things that they
Mm,
can review. I think in the short term and like though that is like a short term plan to where they're gonna build up to where the women's game eventually has full VAR. So I think something like that would be useful. But honestly, like especially after this match, I think my main takeaway is the refereeing standards have to be raised. Like I think that's the next thing that the WSL, the WPL need to invest in is fully professionalized referees because it's just hurting the games, right? Like that first disallowed goal, there shouldn't even need to be VAR intervention for that. I don't understand how you're seeing a handball. Whenever refs call a handball, the thing they look for is a weird diversion of the ball, right?
mhm.
The ball came to Stina and hit her in the thigh and dropped like it would, like you would expect it to. Like I don't, I just, and then like
I
it
think
wasn't really. Sorry, go ahead.
The only thing was like I don't know what I need to go back and see what like vantage point the ref had, but the only thing that maybe saw it was like when Stina jumped back to hit it with like her hips, her arm kind of flailed back as well. And so like maybe she saw that and was like, "Oh, it hit her hand. Let me call handball." But
Right.
calling it so late after too, like after the goal, after the celebration, there's no way you can remember what if it hit that or not. Like at that point, it should be like a split, like in the moment decision or not.
Exactly. And it wasn't clear to me as to who made the call because it seemed like the assistant maybe had influence in it as well. But like the other thing, yeah, like with both of Arsenal's essentially disallowed goals, I also didn't understand why those calls came so late. Like there's no VAR, like for offside, right? They don't have to wait. There's no point in them waiting for the play to play out. They can just raise that flag, and so it seemed like the assistant like took a second and then called offside, which again, that doesn't instill confidence in the players or anybody watching. So I think for me, like I just think like that's like the next, we've talked about how WPL, made it compulsory that any team in the top two leagues is fully professionalized and so on. I think they need to have like a similar approach to referees because like we just can't keep doing this every week. I mean, there are other matches as well where there are calls where and it's every week. It's every week. There's
Yeah.
like one or two calls where you're like,
Okay.
really? Like how?
Yeah.
Like,
And they're
who should
So,
do that?
game-changing
so,
ones too.
so
Yeah.
I do wonder if one of the reasons why the flag was so late and the call is so late is because some of these refs do actually do work in the Prem or do work in the Championship, which
Oh
both
yeah.
of those leagues also do have VAR. So I wonder if it's like one of those things where like, okay, I'm going to wait as long as possible because that's what I've been trained, but to
Mhm.
let the VAR do that, and I was like, oh wait, shit, they don't have a VAR. Like so,
Yeah.
like that's kind of like to your point. Like yeah, that's definitely something that needs to be addressed.
And it's not just like those decisions that can be reviewed with VAR. It's just even simple like foul calls, like what you call a foul, what you don't. Even I guess like I saw there was the replay of was it Palova who like got away with what could have been a red card maybe? She had
Oh
like
yeah, that was
uh,
nasty. That was real
yeah,
nasty in the
like a
replay by
late
Walsh.
just yeah, the studs up tackle basically. And to be fair, like from our like none of us knew why people were saying it could have been red. Like in the moment it just looked like a normal tackle. And like actually she got called I think just for a foul and it went the other way. But like, on replay, like yeah, she could have easily gotten one. And so it's just things like that where it's just so inconsistent across the board too. And even within the match, it's like inconsistent. And so I think, Mark, you're right. It's just like not just VAR, but the whole standard of reffing needs to be up. Like I forget this one's name, but she was giving Emily Heaslip a run for her money. We might have to change getting Heaslip to getting whatever this person's name was.
Yeah.
Treb, anything to add?
I mean, yeah, I have lots to add. It's just really unfortunate. This is the second.
I'm gonna let you take control.
Yeah, I
of
was
the
letting everyone just go
WPL one,
because
but
like
go
I
on,
have to
yeah.
collect myself and really watch what I say. Just because like this is the second year I feel like where poor refereeing has determined the winner or the result of a Chelsea Arsenal match. I mean, last season in Renee's first match, there was the very dubious penalty against Lauren James where there was like at best minimal contact with the player that was ruled a penalty. That was the eventual 1-0 win for Chelsea. And in this match, it's the same thing where it's like, like Mark said, how can you by your eye determine the handball when there was no clear handball? It wasn't obvious. It wasn't, Stina didn't have her hand out in an unnatural position. There was no clear deflection of the ball. From what I've seen from people that were at the match online, like there was very much a pause and the referee kind of giving it at first, putting the signal to the middle of the pitch like this is a goal, and then changing their mind later. How can you do that in a league that does not have VAR? And then I agree. I think Alessia Russo's goal was very much offside. Like you look at the replay, she was like a good foot and a half offside. And this is my point, right? Like this is my point. How can the same sideline judge, because both of these goals happen in the second half, how can I trust the opinion of the same sideline judge who gave Alessia Russo's goal where she was a clear foot and a half offside, and then trust that her eyes are good enough to determine that Monum was offside when that one was like, you look at the replays of that, people talk about like the line on the grass. Like, first of all, that's not very much like the yellow line in NFL. Like that is, as much as you want to believe it, that is not a good determining factor in whether or not someone is offside, because I've seen people who look like, judging by the lines on the field of the grass, look like they're onside, and then you look at VAR, and because of like an elbow leaning forward or how the player's positioned, they're onside. And it very much looked like from the naked eye on the replay that Monum was played onside, like Deepti said, by the furthest defender. It was close. It was one of those like, I need VAR to determine, because if not, you have to give it to the player, because she very much looked on. But how am I supposed to have faith in that same sideline ref to determine that that's offside when she let a goal go where Russo was like a good foot and a half offside? So like this is the same ref with the same eyes. Like, how can I have faith in that call is right? Like, I don't. And as an Arsenal fan, like, I'm willing to admit, like Deepti said, I'm willing to admit Russo was offside. I think that the Stina goal should have stood, and I think that the Monum goal was too close to call and probably should have stood. In a world where there's no VAR, that should have been a 2-1 win for Arsenal. Overall, in the match, I think it was a really good performance from Arsenal, who've been, and again, as they mentioned, we're recording this after the Champions League match, so so we'll get to that later. But like, I think that this is an Arsenal team that performed well, off of the back of the Leicester win. It was a 4-1 win in that, 3-1 win in that. They performed really well. This was another one where they controlled a lot of the match. The first 10 minutes, it was all Chelsea. Chelsea got the early goal. I feel like from that point on, it was very much an Arsenal-centric match. I think when you disallow that Stina goal, it affects the match in a lot of ways, because now instead of being 1-1 in the 57th minute, I think it was, in the 50th minute, you're now still 1-0 down. And it takes until Russo scores in the 87th minute that you're 1-1 up. And even then, they still had enough juice to go and get what they thought was the winner late in the match. So I think that, when you don't have the proper infrastructure to have VAR to really get these decisions right, that's what you have, where you have a match where, again, like you talk about what it was on TV. On TV, they had 1-1 for 5 minutes before it was like, well, it's actually 1-0 Chelsea. And I was so confused. I actually had to go back in the ESPN feed and watch what happened, because I was confused as to I thought we were 1-1 drawn. Why is it suddenly still 1-0? Like, what is happening? And it was because they ruled that handball on Stina, which was just an atrocious call. Like, I think that the standard of refereeing needs to improve, because a lot of these refs, like Thom mentioned, that some refs do Premier League stuff and some do the championship level stuff, but a lot of these refs are like part-time refs. Like, they are not fully fledged professional referees, and that's the problem. When you're a league like the WSL, where people want to claim that they are the best league in the world, or claim that they're one of the top 2 leagues in the world, then you need to have full-time refs. And it's the same conversation that we have with the NWSL, where it's like, if you want to consider yourself the best league in the world, you need to have officiating to that standard. You can't have people who are using this as like a part-time job or like a nighttime gig. Like, you need people who understand that every match matters, especially in the WSL, where, like Deepti was talking about, mathematically we're not out of the title race, but it feels like we're out of it, because you're still 5 points off of Chelsea in a league where they don't drop a lot of points. And if you add the officiating to that, like, you're determining the champions of this league when you have one wrong call. And this isn't an Arsenal thing. Like, we saw it last week with I think it was Liverpool and London City. We've seen it where there was like dubious penalties called that weren't really penalties, and then obvious penalties not called. Like, you are deciding whether or not some of these teams get points. And there's a lot to that. When you talk about a league that isn't as that doesn't have as much parity as some of the other leagues have. Like, this is a very top heavy league. And when you're deciding results like that, like, you have to take it serious. And so I agree with Marc on the bigger point of we need better officiating. But I also feel like Arsenal, once again, against Chelsea, like, they do enough to probably get a win. And it's just these borderline calls that seem to go Chelsea's way. And I don't know. Like, I don't want to be the guy that's like, it's officiating why we lost. But at the same time, it's hard to not say it when you score 3 goals and 2 of them are disallowed in very controversial ways. Like, it wasn't like, again, it wasn't like an obvious handball. Her hand is like in a natural position where she's getting it with her chest, stomach area. Her hands aren't like spread out wide. How can you call that a handball with the naked eye? And then again, how can I trust the ref who allows a goal from Russo, who's a good 1.5 feet offside, to then say, well, Manu, who was maybe a millimeter offside, I think that was all. Like, it just leaves a very bad taste in your mouth. And I think as a whole, just results wise, a draw against Chelsea is not bad for Arsenal, considering how the season has gone for them so far, and considering how many injuries they have coming into that match. But it was just an opportunity to really make a statement and get some confidence that was taken away by officials.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been mad about like a draw in general. But
yeah, I mean, Chelsea's
the
a
way
great
it happened.
team.
Yeah,
like they
and like
yeah.
Tom, I want to let you speak, and then I have a couple questions to ask you guys.
So the name of the referee is Melissa Bergen. Melissa Bergen has been a referee with the FA since 2011. This is all according to her LinkedIn, by the way, because that's big. Apparently, Deepti, you're telling me that's big in the UK.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They use LinkedIn a lot.
Okay. She has been a PGMOL match official since August of 2023. So it's not like she's inexperienced necessarily, but like, just like.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like, these aren't full-time professional refs. That's a problem. And even full-time.
No. She is a full-time.
Well, you said she didn't like.
No. She's like, so all of those. That is her only thing on her LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like, so
she's full-time for what, 15 years almost
with the FA. Crazy. Yeah. So like,
but
it's
you
not
said
like
that her last like WSL match was in a few years or something. What did you just say?
No,
I've just been doing this for a few years.
Oh well, that's a problem.
Yeah. So okay, we can interchange getting he slipped with getting Bergened, I suppose. That's gonna be my new thing. Marc, I want to get like what you thought about Chelsea, about this match, and then also I have a question just in general about like VAR about this stuff. But let's hear about your thoughts on Chelsea first.
Yeah, so I think all of us here are somewhat superstitious, right? I think a day or two before the match, I think it was either the Chelsea women's account or the WSL account posted that this match was Chelsea's opportunity to tie their previous unbeaten record streak. And I was like, there it is. They're going to lose to Arsenal. The lineup I thought was very interesting, but in a not interesting way. So they like leading into this match, Sonia did I guess an interview or some sort of press release with the club, and she talked about like I guess where she feels she's at with Chelsea tactically. And she talked explicitly about the 3 at the back, and that's where, that's like her thing that she's trying to work towards. But that, she talked about doing it, a transition, trying to, do it slowly, not try to, obviously like use what the players are comfortable with and still her ideas and all that. And, in the last episode, we talked about how important I think Ellie Carpenter has been to Chelsea's play. You could also say the same thing about Sandy Baltimore going back to last season, who's played mostly wing back, or left back, but she's also played as a forward. And to my surprise, neither of them started this match. Like I did not expect that at all. So we come out in a 4-3-3 with Lucy Bronze getting, I think this was her first WSL start for the season. Yeah, because she got because she got minutes the previous week. Neem Charles started at left back, Bjorn and Bright. And it just seemed like the strategy was to kind of keep it compact. Like obviously kind of be a little more conservative with, I guess, positioning and pressing maybe. Now, like you talked about DT, like the first 10 minutes went well.
Mhm.
Alyssa Thompson had acres of space. One thing I do want to say about Alyssa Thompson, at the time that she came over to Chelsea, if you asked me, would she be in the starting lineup against Arsenal, I would have said no. Like, I'm actually kind of
Really?
surprised. I'm surprised at how quickly she's hit the ground running. Like, I know that she's a good player, right? Like, I knew that, but like, it's like these motherfuckers have never seen somebody as fast as her. Like,
They
the way
haven't.
the way she just runs by people, and like in the lead up to the goal, like the angle that she took, it was kind of like she wasn't running straight forward, right? She was almost like kind of
Yeah.
meandering to
Yeah.
forward, but it was just like she
She
had
never
so
runs
much
straight
space.
forward. Like that's her thing. Like she never
Yeah.
runs straight at goal. Like she always veers outward, almost like she's going for a pass
Yeah.
and
And
like
then she'll
cuts it in.
curl
Yeah,
it in.
like she's
Yeah.
really good at that. As
Yeah.
someone who covers Angel City, like she's really like that's her game. Like that's what she does.
And yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just really thankful that
I don't think she starts though when Lauren James gets healthy. I will say that.
so I am
I
interested to
yeah.
see what Sonya does.
So, but this is the natural progression of things, right? So, like, if you think about it, Alyssa Thompson will have played basically a full season by the time that the Christmas break hits.
Yeah.
So, by the time that Lauren James is healthy, like, even like I know
It's
Alyssa
time
Thompson
to
is a young
take a
player,
break.
but like it's time for
Well,
you to
she's
take a break.
yeah. Again, I think people
Like,
forget.
and-
Like she played 20. I mean, she was sold end of September. Like she started in all her matches for Angel City, and she played a lot of minutes. And so like that's a whole 20 something games already on top of the 4 or 5 game that she's played with Chelsea. So like yeah, like Tom's saying,
Exactly.
like
So
that winter break
she's
is gonna
gonna
hit,
need
she needs the rest.
right. She's gonna need she's probably gonna need more time than the rest,
On
like
top
than
of
the
the
winter break.
international stuff,
So,
because again,
yeah,
she is now a
exactly.
player with US women's national team that is getting full 90 minutes starting roles, etc.
Right.
Right.
So she's gonna have to like probably take 3 weeks off, like on like into January. So you would think that would be the time that
Lauren comes
Lauren
in.
James
Yeah.
is ready to come in.
Yep.
If you're smart, I mean, if you want to run a player into the ground, you just keep starting Alyssa, I guess. But
Don't
I
do
will
that.
say,
Sonya, right?
Sonya does a lot of things, but she's not Jill Ellis.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Vlatko.
Or Blackco.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that too soon, Tom? We're sorry.
A little. Oh yeah,
I
I'm sorry.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm working on something for that. Like it is. Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, so they ended half with the 1-0 lead. And second half, like I would say it's more or less Arsenal's half, right? Like we talked about the disallowed goals and so forth. What stood out to me from Chelsea's perspective was just how scrappy they were in defensive situations. Like the ball would come into the box and somebody would swipe at it, like Natalie Bjorn did this. I think Aaron Cuthbert did this on a corner. Just swing and missed at the ball. This happened so many
That
times.
was hilarious. There was one Erin Cuthbert corner, and this was the corner that I was sitting right at. And
Oh,
this
yeah.
one, she took the corner, and it just went whoop. It was like within whatever her it barely made it into the play. Like it was just off the pitch immediately. It was so funny. And she points at the ground like what?
Yeah. But I just remember I think it was the literal minute before the goal, like the ball was bouncing around as those stupid half clearances, and I was just like, this match is so poor. Like this is so scrappy. And then sure enough, Arsenal scored, and I was like, fucking knew it. Like I never believed that we would hold a clean sheet at the Emirates. Like I was like, this just feels like a goal's coming, and it did. And to start off a match like Chelsea did, it feels disappointing to like escape with a draw. But that's essentially what they did, And I think Sonia chose that at a certain point. I think part of her probably would have been okay coming into the match with that. But then at the same time, like she gained a point on Man United, so like it kind of works out.
But she lost points on Man City.
That's true.
We'll talk about later. But yeah,
that is true.
Don't perceive us.
You're top of the league. How can we not
Just,
perceive you?
Yes or no question to all of you, so we don't like get into more of a discussion on it. Do you think that they should allow use VAR in the stadiums that VAR is it's already equipped for? Whereas some of the WSL stadiums just don't have it the infrastructure for it, so that's why we don't use it anywhere. But for these a lot of games are now played at the bigger stadiums where they do have all the cameras and everything. So quick roundtable, yes or no, do you think for the games where they do have it, they should be able to use it?
Not in WSL matches, not in league matches.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say yes, but no. I mean, it just either put VAR everywhere or not at all. It just, I don't know. It would benefit Arsenal, but it just feels unfair that it's okay. So when Arsenal play at Chigwell, we just won't have VAR. That just doesn't. I don't know.
I say yes.
Yeah, I also think yes. Anyway, we're split on that.
I get it, but it's just it's just
yeah.
That's gonna be what 8? I mean, I guess it would be 9 matches out of the season because it would be the 3 top teams playing each other. I feel like it just.
It's hard, yeah. Well,
but
we can discuss this another time. But yeah,
I think before we move on, just real quick, I think what Spain is doing is right. I think MLS did the same thing, where it's you have half VAR, where you rely on replay to be okay, this might be something that we need to think about a little bit more instead of having nothing. But again, we've talked about it a lot. We need WSL to really invest in their teams.
Yeah, they just need to invest. Okay, prediction wise, this whole weekend was horrible prediction wise for us. So well, Treb and I thought it would be an Arsenal win because we went with heart.
Heart.
Yeah.
Important to say.
Marc
there was
went
no
with Chelsea win. Also no points. Tom guessed a draw, so you got 1 point for that.
I knew it was going on.
It was maybe the hater just wanting us to both drop points, but that worked for you.
Should have been 2-1. Should have been 2-1. Arsenal win.
Moving on to another team that dropped points that none of us. Well, see, okay, this was United Villa. I'm just gonna go to predictions immediately because we all guessed. Well, no, Treb, Marc, and I guessed a United win. Tom guessed a draw.
I told you I would never predict United.
You're right. You'll never.
I don't care.
Yes.
I don't care if they play Liverpool.
However, Villa has the upset, a 1-0 upset over United, but it was half an upset because if you listen to the end of our previous episode, when we are talking about this match, Treb and actually you, the other two, you guys also agree, but Treb says Villa is every top team's bogey team. So, if there's a match that United drops points, it's this
my
one.
God.
And yet, none of us actually picked them to win.
So think about this. Villa has already gone to the Emirates and registered a draw. They went away to United and got a win. Now I don't have Marc, have they played y'all yet?
Yeah, they played us at home and we got out of there with a 3-1 win.
Yeah, right.
Wait, they played you at Stamford Bridge, right?
No. They at their place.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, at their
at Villa Park. Okay. So they already have 4 out of 9 of the top 4, and the way that they're doing it is they are WSL's set piece FC. I mean, if you think about
That's how they
Arsenal,
got their last second goal against us. Yeah.
And that is exactly how they set pieces at how they scored against United. It was just like the corner kick, ball comes into the mixer, headed out. Muriella Taylor is right there at the top of the box, shoots it in, and it's 1-0. And then Villa pretty much parked the bus at that point, and you could tell that Skinner had kind of rotated the squad because he knew that he had the Mary Earps derby that was actually played today for Champions League. So you could tell that he really did flip the squad a little bit. But not only did he flip the squad, you could tell their press was not as intense, particularly in the midfield. So I have the feeling that it's kind of it will be interesting to see their WSL form on Saturday, based off of their Champions League form today. But this was not a great start to this really rough stretch of matches that they have.
I feel like I'd have to look this up, but I'm curious as to how many times they drop points when Melvin Mallard doesn't start. She seems to be the X factor. And she probably didn't start because of, this run they have with the Champions League and so forth. But yeah, it's I mean, you've been talking about it, Tom, and I think it's I think sometimes we take that for granted in terms of the just having squad depth. It's the idea that you can sub out one person, right? But no, you can't even afford to sub out that one person without risking dropping points. Yeah, I mean, I would. This result was shocking to me, and I think Villa's a decent side, but I did not think they were going to go to Lehigh and get a whole win, a whole 3 points.
I'm kind of surprised on Villa's part also. The last couple matches, Rachel Daly hasn't started and Ebony Salmon hasn't started either. I know Ebony Salmon sometimes maybe she comes off the bench quite a bit maybe, and she is one of those similar to our Stina, where now Stina is starting, but that's only because Olivia Smith is not at full at 100%. But Rachel Daly as well has not been starting, and yet the last couple matches it's been working for them to come off and spark in the middle. Like you said, Mark, they parked the bus pretty much after the 30 whatever they scored 35th minute. So second half for sure parking the bus. So they didn't necessarily need that attack, but still it's surprising to me. I don't know if it's just minute management or if rotation and they're just saving up for domestic cup matches and whatnot. But that interesting. Just squad rotation for me.
I know from our perspective, as a men's soccer fan and a men's Arsenal fan, set piece FC sucks when it's against you. I'm not gonna lie, that shit hurts. They beat Arsenal with the last second set piece, and they caught our young Katie Reed unawares in an early stage of the season, and that definitely hurt us when we dropped that point. I feel that match has been the catalyst for a lot of Arsenal's woes. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay,
I'm just gonna say
we're not gonna talk about Arsenal again. It's
we are when we get to Champions League.
We
but I'm
will
just saying.
later, not right now. I do want to say December 14th. That's when they go play away at City. It'd be interesting. See if they can
Terrified.
More fun.
Terrified of that match.
But I also think I think Arroyo, their coach, I think she started off kind of rough and we're is she legit or not? And I think she's really coming into it and grasping this team and knowing what to do with it. So like you said, Villa is always one of those tricky ones where they have ups and downs. They really are a roller coaster team. You'll think they do really well and then they don't. And then on days you think oh, they won't play well. They go on and win. So
well, they just have trouble finishing. Villa are a really good team at getting an early to mid game goal, and then they just either concede for the loss or they concede for the equalizer. But they're definitely a team that knows how to score pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, they've got 10 points on the season now. So I think it is.
They're a mid-table team. They're really good.
Yeah. Better than I remember last season is very roller coaster. They were at the bottom for a while, but seems like they're pretty much mid-table this time. Let's move on to the frauds. The frauds that we told you were the frauds, and they ended up being the frauds. Marc, you can cover this one because I know you're really excited to talk about this one. But this was London City versus Spurs, and London City whooped that ass 4-2.
Yeah, I mean, they got the win in the end. I wouldn't necessarily say whoop that ass. I mean, it was 2-2.
By the end, by the last
4-2, they whooped that ass.
Yeah.
I saw that match. London City was whooping that ass.
20 minutes, I said they would.
London City was whooping that ass.
In terms of run of play, they were whooping that ass, but Spurs pegged them back twice. So but yeah, this was like the Freya Godfrey match. 2 goals and assists from her.
Shout out Arsenal Academy Freya Godfrey.
Yeah. And you saw it in the technique, honestly. But yeah, she scores the opening goal. There was a question of handball, because it was a set piece. I forgot who it fell to. Who got the assist on that? Was it Kumagai? Oh, Sangari, that's right. Yeah. So it falls to Sangari. It looks like a hand may have been involved. There's not actually a great camera angle on it. I think would have been harsh to disallow based on the available evidence. But yeah, it's just kind of a question. And she assisted Freya Godfrey in the first goal. Arsenal get a penalty when Drew Spence won a foul. And they tied it 1-1 at that point. Nikita Paris, I think that was the score at halftime. Yeah, it was 1-1. Nikita Paris scores early in the second half on a far post run. London City on the break. Definitely in terms of run of play, like especially the second half, like it felt more. It felt like London City was going to be the more likely winner. But I will say credit to Arsenal. I mean, they kind of hung with them.
Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah, but you mean Tottenham? I was like, we didn't play too many.
My bad.
We cleared London City when we played them. To be fair.
Yeah, credit to Spurs. For hanging with them, not getting. Like I feel like last season, this is a match where they might have gotten washed. And maybe like giving up 3 goals in the second half. But yeah, they won a foul in the 69th minute, and Sumaman stepped up and hit a beautiful free kick to tie it 2-2. But then they give up the goal in the most Spursy fashion, or give up the lead in the most Spursy fashion with an own goal. To be fair to Nilden, like the ball just ricocheted off of her, like, but it was just such a nice finish, like the way it came off her boot.
Spursy is so wildly correct and disrespectful at the same time.
Listen, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, but come on, Spurs. Like, you work so hard to get back into the match, and then you give it up via own goal. That's rough. But yeah, that also came off a set piece, and I feel like London City is like pretty effective on set pieces. I think if you're a team that's newly promoting, you're trying to like stick in the league. I think being good at set pieces is a great way to go about doing that. And then they get their 4th goal in the 84th minute. Freya Godfrey, nice step over, curls it in with her left foot. Like, and it was one of those where like the camera angle was perfect, so you could like see the whole shot bend into the corner. Just a beautiful goal. And I think at that point, like London City would definitely, for me, deserved winners. But honestly, this was just like a really fun match. And I think like last season we were kind of crying out for more quality from the mid-table teams. I know Spurs are like technically sitting at the top of the table right now, but we know that they're a mid-table team. But as far as like a mid-table clash goes, like this was really fun, and yeah, like London City just feel like a WSL team. Like they don't even feel like they were in WSL 2 last year. Like, I think at this point we know they're not going to be relegated, and I think credit to them. I think this is like kind of a quality win for them.
I mean, yeah, there are 6th in the table on 12 points now. So top half.
They're a mid-table
which
team.
Is a credit to them. I mean, I think that's what they're like.
That's what money gets
they're
you,
not going to
right?
expect. Yeah, but I mean, they're not going to expect to like. I think they're expecting maybe top 6 is probably what they were gunning for, and I feel like they will get that. Maybe top 8, but definitely like I'd say they push for top 6 for sure. And they're still growing. Like they still have growing pains. They're still trying to work all together. Like we said, they're like the most random assortment of players, and so getting all of them together and like kind of just being cohesive as a team it didn't start off very well, but now you can see that they're starting to click, and they still don't even have like Van de Donk playing for them yet. So I was about to say something. Treb, did you want to say something? I think you did.
No, I was just saying like DVD still hasn't played, like you said, like they still haven't had their full kind of roster this season, but they've done really well.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I think Michelle King came into this feeling like as long as I can avoid relegation for the first year and really establish myself as a team worth competing, like that's all they want. And I think that they're doing that. Like they're not going to beat the top teams, right? Like they struggle against City, they struggle against Arsenal, they struggle against Chelsea. But if they can beat a Tottenham, if they can beat, I guess now would be Aston Villa. I was going to say Liverpool, but Liverpool have been so bad. But like, if they can beat these mid-table teams, finish 6th, 7th, I think they're really happy with where they're going, and they're just only going to attract more talent.
I can't believe I was about to make a 6-7 joke when you said 6-7.
I'm a boomer. I don't know what that means, but like I get it. I've heard it.
As soon as you said it, now it like
the Zoomers know. Yeah, that was an accidental young person joke.
Now I can't unhear it when anybody.
I can't either. I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, the 6-7 is crazy.
One kind of fun stat, if you want to say it's fun. London City has conceded 5 penalties in their 8 games so far, and then they also have had 2 penalties for them. So that's like 7 across 8 matches, and that just seems like a lot.
That's almost a lot of penalties to be involved in for the first 8 matches of your season.
For each match. Almost.
Bro, what y'all got going on over there? To be fair, I think like 2 or 3 of those penalties shouldn't have been penalties against them.
Yeah,
and I think one of those penalties shouldn't have been a penalty for them.
One of those penalties definitely should not have been one for them.
That was that dubious one. Yeah.
That was one against Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What a team!
like
who are you paying, Michelle King?
That they were good or not? Yeah.
Michelle King paying everybody.
We need a nickname.
Don't ask
for
about that.
Their penalty.
Michelle King paying everybody. Everybody getting that check when they talk to Michelle King. Don't worry about it. Everybody but Trinity, I guess. But anyway, that's a different conversation for a different podcast.
That's a different story. Prediction wise, Treb got a point. He's the only one who predicted a London City win. The rest of us got it wrong. Well, I thought it would be 0-0 draw. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was just like, we're not going to see any nice goals.
They scored 6 goals in that match. They were like, what the fuck you talking about?
I can't believe I picked Spurs. I cannot I can't believe I picked Spurs.
I told you, not unless they're playing Liverpool, I'm never picking them again. I don't care. So far it's worked. I'm down with it.
So yeah, just a point for Treb on that one. That's all the points we got. None of us got anything right the rest of the weekend. So, like I said, poor prediction weekend for us. But you know who did get a point? Liverpool. Liverpool got their first point of the season.
But they should have got 3.
And they should have got 3. They still dropped points in the 90+2 or 90+3. Rosa Kafaji comes and scores an equalizer. Tom, you want to talk us through this one?
No, that was me, right? Was that not me?
Treb. All right, Treb,
Treb.
Treb. Yeah, I could.
Yeah, that was. I want to talk about Liverpool because again, like I said last week, as much as I hate to do it, you got to agree with Gareth Taylor. This is a team in Liverpool that absolutely should have. You know what I mean? Like, listen, you still got to win the match, and it's his fault, low-key, that they're not winning. But like, they've really had some shit luck the last few matches. Like, they've been in positions to win, and they've just let wins go. And this was another match where they had the early goal. It was great. Olsen scored. Like, it was a really well taken goal. They looked like they were in control most of the match. And then in the 90th plus minute, you have Rose Kafaji getting all the space in the world that she wants on a ball that was given to her. And she's just like, cool, like, no one's going to mark me. I'm going to be here at the penalty spot, like in that general area. And no defender's going to even try to defend me. I'm going to take this shot and I'm going to score this goal. And credit to her for scoring, because I think I, as someone who was watching this match at that time, I was in the group chat basically saying, without Michelle Adjemain, like, this team looks like they can't score a goal. And I do want to kind of mention that, like, I'm a little bit, I guess, I don't know if I want to say disappointed, but I'm a little bit flustered as to why Camacho hasn't done more with the minutes that she's getting, because she was like a big time, young prospect to come in. And I'm a little bit curious as to why she's not doing as well as I thought she would in the WSL. But Rose Kofaji came in and she was like, don't worry, I got us. And, she took her effort, scored the goal, got the equalizer. Brighton came away with the point. And Liverpool, like, they got a point. Congratulations to them, their first point of the season. But this is a team, I think, probably next to Arsenal in terms of a team that can't hold a victory to save their life. They get the lead. They're doing, I think, if you look at their season, the first quarter of their season was inability to do anything, and they were just getting ran out of the building constantly. I think they've reached a point of their season where they're now at least scoring a goal. And now they just have to figure out the second part of their season, which is holding on to the goal for the win. If they can do that, they can probably save themselves from what is going to be that playoff match against what is looking like Charlton FC or Charlton in the WSL 2, who are having a great season. But like, yeah, it is. As it stands, I said this before we recorded, like, as it stands, I think I have more faith in West Ham to come away with any playoff match win than I do with Liverpool. And that's just because Liverpool, like, I hate to say this about a professional team with professional athletes, but just Liverpool doesn't seem to have the mindset to play well at the end of matches. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, even when they have the lead, whether they're getting blown out, like, that 60th minute mark hits and they just turn it off. I don't know if that's like their limit. I don't know if it's a sub. Like, I just don't know what it is with Liverpool, but that 60th minute mark hits and they turn into a team that just like turns into a pumpkin. Like, it's like midnight hits for Cinderella. Like, they don't have anything. And Brighton came away with a point. Shout out to Brighton. I think that they are going to have to navigate the rest of this season in a rough spot without one of their main offensive attackers in Michelle. But yeah, if Rosa can come to the party and kind of take over that space, I think they'll do well. I think if Camacho can get into form, they'll be back to being a mid-table team. But I think this match was definitely more about Liverpool's inability to hold on to a win, because like Gareth said last week, like, this is a team that probably should have a lot more points than they have, and they only have 1 point. And I every week we come here and I say, like, this is probably the most disappointing team in the WSL in terms of where we thought they would be at the beginning of the season.
Anyone else have thoughts on this one? Do you want to talk about Ndozie?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, talking about Ndozie. I talked about it last week.
Her form's not been great, dog.
No, like, it's not been great in the last 2 weeks. I said it.
That Beta Olsen goal was it was dubious. There was not a lot of pace on that ball. Like, it rolled for a minute, and like, I don't know what she was looking at, and that's not what you want from your goalkeeper. Like, it's got to be better. So,
I know you guys talked about what she had come out with, how she was kind of like feeling lonely, and like the whole thing about moving country and being like, do you think that has something to do with it? Like it's just a mental thing at
I
the
feel like it
moment?
does because like that story, like she was doing so well, and then that story came out, and then the United match followed. And that match, there was a couple goals that I feel like a player of her caliber should have saved, and she didn't. And I talked about it last week. And like you have this match, this one where the Olsen goal, she probably should have said like so. I don't know. Like maybe with the story coming out, it was like a triggering thing where she's like, okay, I do feel lonely. I don't know. Like, I don't know, but she's just it's one of those like it could be a coincidence, but it's very odd timing that the moment that story comes out, she has 2 matches in a row where it's like goals that she normally saves, she just can't get to.
Mm-hmm. That's it on that one. Like I said, we all had predicted Brighton to win, so none of us got points prediction wise for that one. West Ham Leicester was next, and almost like deja vu, very similarly to Liverpool Brighton, West Ham was on track to get 3 points, to get their first points of the season. They did end up getting 1 point. It ended 1-1, but what minute did Leicester get this equalizer? 90 plus 7, I believe. They were worse than Liverpool when it came to like giving up this equalizer. And this one too, like the O'Brien scored and she was wide open at like the back post and like right in front of goal. And so just yeah, like we said, West Ham and Liverpool are doing the same thing. And they're both fighting for that relegation spot. Like they want that relegation spot.
And not in the good way.
Yeah, go on, Tom. Tell us more.
So, I mean, probably the most impressive thing about this match is that Shakira Martinez scored while she was on her butt. Like she backheeled the ball, but like it made her fall down the way that she kicked the ball. So like she was as the ball rolled across the goal line, like she was literally like on her backside, which I think is pretty impressive. Like not how many strikers get to say that they do that. But yeah, they gave so much time and space at the top of the box to O'Brien. Like it's not a small wonder that, of course, they would concede a goal in this manner if they're going to defend in the way that they did. I think I don't know. It's disappointing to see from West Ham, like both West Ham and Liverpool, like being in losing positions or winning positions, excuse me, and dropping points. Particularly like when you think that they were both at home, but at least they got some points and got on the board. But yeah, this is not great. Also, like Liverpool seems to, or not Liverpool, Leicester seems to know what it takes to like just be better. Like we're just going to make sure that we get points no matter what comes of this. And they've been doing all right by that. So kudos to them.
Yeah. I guess yeah, they at least scored. And now that's up to 3 goals on the season for West Ham. So
Gotta take small wins, right?
Yeah. I also want to say I feel like if I remember the highlights correctly, they did have more like actual shots on goal, and I think Leipzig it says she only made 1 save, so maybe it wasn't that many. It said like 3 shots on
I think
target.
I think they hit a lot of like the woodwork a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe they're getting there. I don't
Slowly but surely, right?
slowly but surely, but I also don't know what would like help them at this point besides like everything. You know, like it seems like
Yeah.
they do have some of the pieces. They just shouldn't. Like they have good attackers or like an attack that should be like kind more. What's the word? Just should be like, I guess, more formidable and more just able to finish more and do something with that, but they just don't.
And when we get to the cup competitions, we'll talk about that because they showed that they can.
Yeah. So Once again, we all had Leicester to win, and none of us even had West Ham scoring a single goal. We all had like 1-0 or 2-0, so no points for us there. And finally, to round out the weekend, we had our feature match on BBC over here in the UK. It was Man City at Everton, and City won 2-1, but it was a close match. It was pretty fun, but Tom, you can talk more about it, but some pretty good goals, actually. I think all three were good.
All three of these goals in this match were absolutely outstanding. I feel like really like City came out and were the aggressors in this particular match. They were able in the first 21 minutes, they scored a goal through Viv Miedema. Like she was able to knife through the midfield with the ball. That was nice to see. But then that Everton goal was so beautiful. Like, and it wasn't just beautiful because like the offensive execution of it, like, but the defensive execution of it, like, also like from City's reaction, like, you know, Layla Wahhabi is not anybody's fast, right? So like, of course, she's high up on the pitch, and when Tony Payne gets like in behind her with the ball, like, she's never going to catch up, right? So Jade Rose, like, Rebecca Canuck steps over, Jade Rose steps over, and then so that leaves basically Kasparai on Gago. And by the time that Payne gets the time to make the cross in, like, Kasparai is on her. And then just that quick, like, spinning back heel that Gago does, like, to do it first time, just like absolutely like, and there's nothing that Yamashita could do. But Yamashita also, like, she played a big match in this game. Like, she was nails. It was kind of interesting to see like all of the Japanese players like within the 18-yard box, like in Yui Hasegawa and Yamashita and who did Hayashi and Ishikawa. Like, it was just like, this is like it showed you like the influence of Japan in this league, which is probably a good thing for the league. And then a bunny dunk is going to feed my soul every single time, and to watch her, I'm so sorry, Ishikawa, but like to watch her dunk on you, like, that really kind of made my day. So thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, it was good on both sides. I think it was pretty competitive. But yeah, City came out the win. And I will say, Tom, I'm going to call you out. You convinced all of us that Everton was going to win, or at least, like, at the very least draw. You're like, City's never going to win this one, blah, 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 blah. And see what happened.
I actually have a question for Tom on that, because, like,
okay, so this, the reason
that
I said that. The reason I said that was because I was convinced that not Seb Hines was going to start Gracie Pryor and not Rebecca Canuck. I didn't think that Rebecca Canuck was fit enough to start this match.
Well, see, so, and this leads to my question, where it's like City came out looking like a team that knew the Arsenal-Chelsea result, right? Like they came out looking like a team that knew, we get the win, we're top of the table. And do you think, Tom, like, do you think that had anything to do with the tactics of what this match probably normally would have been?
100%, because if you listen, if you're a City fan, if you listen to Shades of Blue when we talked about it in the Baby Blue Baddie segment, not Seb Hines would not say anything about that result on, like, because his, like, based off of his presser, like, he wouldn't say anything about like possibly going first or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
But yes, he absolutely knew, and
because City came out like a team, like, from the beginning. City came out like a team that knew, like, we win this match, we're top of the league. So whatever we have to do to get to that point, like, we're gonna do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I agree with Deepti. Like, you sat here and said that Everton
again. I was 100% convinced that Gracie Pryor was going to start. Like, Doug, if
You cost
if
us
Gracie,
all points, Tom. You cost
if
us
Gra-
all points.
blame Gracie
I would be
Pryor.
more. I would be
I
more
mean-
mad if he cost himself
He
points
cost us
too,
points,
is
and
the
then like he
thing.
picked City
Yeah.
to win. At least
And
he had the
he's the-
courage of his convictions to like pick City to
If he-
lose.
at
At least that
I
was
said
the
we were
case.
gonna lose.
Yeah. But yeah, Treb, Marc, and I all thought it would be a draw because we are like, okay, surely City's not going to lose, but I guess they're not going to win. And Tom still picked them to lose, but yeah, this is 2-1 what happened. No points for us. But 3 points for City, and like Treb said, they're top of the table, a point up on Chelsea at the moment. And then we'll talk about this very shortly, but with the Manchester derby coming up, that'll be a fun one because United dropping points was huge for them, so they're now 4 points behind City. Any final thoughts on match week 8? No. We had we're gonna have another crash out moment because, like I mentioned, there were some Champions League matches just before we started recording. Yesterday on the Tuesday, Chelsea played St. Pölten, which we have learned is in Austria, not Norway. It's an Austrian team. Chelsea won 6-0, as expected. I mean, no one expected less. They should win. But Marc, I think it was funny. Who was it who said, one of our other friends, friend of the pod, said, Chelsea sees themselves second in the table, and suddenly they bring out all the big guns, even against a team like St. Pölten. You got Sam Kerr back. Lauren James got minutes. Did Germa play? I don't know. She started, right?
Yeah, Groma played
Yeah,
45.
Germa started, played 45. So
Which was surprising to me. Also, did
They
you
brought
see?
out everybody. They brought
Did
out
you
everybody.
see? Did you see who Germa's center back partner was in this match?
Tell us.
None other than Lucia Tough Bronze. I think her center back era is fully started because in the last international break, she played center back for England, while Maya Letitia, who plays center back for Manchester United, played right back.
Right back. Oh,
I just had to talk about that because that's a hilarious.
That's
Leticia
a
is a right
choice.
back while Bronze is a center back
is a
is actually
choice.
fucking insane. That is stupid as hell. I'm not gonna lie.
Like Sarita has won these people €2, and she's still doing stuff that make them
Leticia
go,
is
what?
one of the better center backs on the planet, and she just like wow.
Right back.
For Lucy Bronze. That's
yeah. But yeah,
All right.
yeah. The big Sam Kerr started. She first start for Chelsea since she's come back from injury. And she gets a brace. Macario also started, also got a brace. Both Carpenter and Baltimore started. And this just felt like a get right match, like you coming off a tough match, you just need to see the ball go in the back of the net a bunch, and that's basically what this was. It was 2-0 at halftime. I think Captain and Macario scored in the first half, and then yeah. I don't know. There's really not too much analysis, I think, in terms of like the run of play. Like there's nothing really to take from this match in terms of that. But yeah, just to see, it's just nice to see Germa start. That's huge. I think that's probably, of all the players coming back now, because like with Lauren James and Sam Kerr and so forth, I think actually Germa is probably the most important. Because if you look at our numbers in WSL, they scored 15 goals, which I think is like third or fourth, and they've conceded 3, which is like near top of the. I think it's the best in the league. But I think that with the current back line, especially with Millie Bright, Sonia's tactics are a bit more conservative. Like I think they're kind of covering for her, in other words. And I just feel like if you get Germa in there with Bjorn, and maybe you do 3 at the back with Bjorn and Bronze, I don't know. But I think that maybe you'd see Chelsea play more in the front foot at that point. But yeah.
So do you think the lack of conceding goals, I think it's more due to Hannah Hampton than it is the back line. And now with Germa back and getting more minutes, it'll be like Hampton will probably see even less shots on goal.
I think she leads the league in save percentage. I think I just saw that when I was checking goals. Yeah, so I mean that's also a fair point as well. But yeah, main thing is just the players that are coming back. Like Chelsea's finally getting healthy.
Yeah. Are you surprised Sam played the whole match? Or was she like expected to play full 90?
I thought she would start the Arsenal match. So
No,
like
fair.
her playing this whole match tells me that she probably could have started the Arsenal match. I think
Mm.
Pastor, like I said before, I think she was just had a more conservative approach to that match. But yeah, I mean, like she started for Australia in the over the international break. So I mean, I think for the most part she's back. I really want her to start next week versus Barcelona. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and
Probably will. I don't see why she wouldn't.
Yeah, you would think so, right? So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if she starts on the weekend as well. We play Liverpool, I think. So, but yeah, it's just nice to see these players. But I was actually surprised about the LJ minutes too. I didn't realize that she was this healthy.
Mm.
So
Yeah. I want to quickly mention some of these accounts that are professional accounts that are supposed to just like give analysis, show highlights, do these things. They toe the line between like a professional sport account and like a fan page, basically making like meme videos or like fun like edits of stuff. And we talk a lot about like JWS, and now it seems like Attacking Third, which has rebranded to W Golasso, is starting to follow in their footsteps, and they haven't been as egregious at all. But if you just look on their Instagram, they have a video of basically it's just a compilation of reactions from the St. Polton bench, and they're all like not even distraught. They're just like, oh my gosh, like annoyed every time Chelsea scores, and like the captions like, oh, what it feels like to play Chelsea. And I'm like, this is funny if like a Chelsea fan posted it, or even if like a WSL fan or something, but coming from an official account, it just seems shady and like I don't know. It just it I think it's funny, but it also strikes me the wrong way seeing where it's coming from. I think they just did them dirty.
That was messy. That was Andy Cohen level messy. like a Real Housewives of Potomac season 4 reunion messy. That was messy shit.
No, it just I think what I didn't like about it just felt like punching down, because it's like,
Yeah.
it's St. Polton. Like, of course they're gonna get trounced by Chelsea. Like, what else?
Right?
You know what I mean? And like the
Yeah.
distraught reactions. Like, yeah, it's not fun getting
Like anyone would react like that if you get like 4th, 5th, 6th goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were at home too. Like, yeah, I don't know. I saw that too. I was like, okay, like.
Yeah.
And then it's always too like the whatever the viral meme music is at the time, and it's like, all right, you guys are just jumping on a trend. Like, okay,
Right?
we
Yeah.
get it.
Like in a way I get it. Like obviously they're still like a media group and they still want to get clicks and everything, but
Right.
still like I don't know, just be more professional, it seems like. Okay. Treb, it's your time. What? Tell
Does
us
it have to
what
be?
you've been going
Wait.
through.
Before,
Okay,
because
before
I
we
feel
get
like I feel like Treb is going to be like good content. Let's like briefly touch on United, and we can briefly touch on the Subway Cup matches because there were some
Okay,
interesting things that
fine.
happened.
We can and then
So
end with sure.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Mary Earps Darby first.
Mary Earps Darby. So we kind of figured that Elizabeth Turland and Ella Toone were sat for tactical reasons. They both came in, or no, Turland did end up coming in later in that match. Toone did not. Like, so Skinner's obviously sitting her for the derby. Fine, whatever. She fucking scored a hat trick that Eddie had last year. Anyway, Millard, like, PSG's not good, y'all. Like, I don't know if they are going to finish in the top. I don't think they are not currently in the top 4. of the top French league right now. Yeah, that's crazy, right? I don't know if they will. They're not good. They have Baguette Ashley Neville starting at center back for them. It's not good, y'all. It's not good. That's Luis de Almeida for the uninitiated. Do a side by side. Do a side by side. That's all I gotta say. Just do it. So they scored through Millard because she abused Mbach 1-0. Right before the halftime break, Olga Carmona scored a banger to equalize, and I thought like, oh, there's a possibility that United could drop points at home, especially, and this is a big deal because they did play this at Old Trash Can, so like, you know, they took some pride in it, right? But they didn't. Rolfo got the winner in like the 67th minute, I believe. They got the 2-1 win. Of note in this particular match, Fallon Tullis-Joyce was not on the team sheet. Not only was she not in the starting 11, she was not on the team sheet. Apparently, she picked up a knock in training and did not play. Now, some people might say, oh God, like, that's not good for the U.S. women's national team. Some people might say, oh God, he's just trying to play mind games before the Derby. Now, I happen to fall in the Venn diagram of those people, like, that says fuck. Like, I don't know, like, I'm fucked either way. So
Either way.
all I have to say is, Marc Skinner, I just want to kick your ass. That's all. That's all. Just need to say that. In the Subway Eat Fresh foot long with the cookies cup, some surprising results. West Ham was at home, and they were playing Southampton, and they took the score was 0-0 at halftime, which was like, oh God, what's happening at Chigwell Construction Stadium? And then all of a sudden, Vivian Asai was subbed in the 67th minute, and all kinds of shit broke for West Ham. Like, it was like a dam opened, and immediately, like within 6 minutes of coming on, she scored a goal. She ended up with a brace. Actually, West Ham scored 2 goals in stoppage time. Granted, it was 8 minutes of stoppage time, which is quite a bit, but still, they did score 2 goals. So Shakira Martinez had a brace. Vivian Asai had a brace. So when we talked about West Ham having the ability to score, like, they are showing it against like other competition who they might be having to play for that relegation playoff spot, because there is a world in which Southampton could in fact finish third in the table in the WSL 2. And then, y'all, Brighton is in trouble because they lost to Charlton, and they didn't really rotate their squad all that much. Like, I mean, Badgley did score, or excuse me, did start instead of Ndozie. But the goal that Charlton scored was nothing impressive. And then right after they scored the goal, they just parked the bus, and without Michelle Adjumang, they had nothing. They had nothing for Charlton, and it's very apparent. And I think Brighton might be in trouble. I think I will say that, and didn't I say this before the season? Didn't I give him the kiss of death? Dario Vidosic as the best manager in the league.
You might have. We'll have to roll the tape on that and see.
He could be losing his job soon if they continue on this man.
Yeah, I didn't realize they didn't like super rotate their squad. So yeah, like going back to what Treb was saying about who needs to win or play, it might be Charlton. Like at this point, looks like Charlton's gonna win. Actually, they won't even have to play the relegation one; they'll just be promoted. But either way, if Brighton can't do it against a Charlton, when we've talked about like the gap between WSL and WSL2, then yeah, they definitely are in trouble. Do we know what happened to Fran Kirby? I was just noticing that she was not even on the bench.
She was one of the few players that they did rotate. So basically, without her, they have no offense.
Right.
None.
All right. Yeah, Brighton, get it together. Are we ready for crash out number 2 now?
I just want to say
I have tracked over to the corner and I've said like because Treb pointed that way.
I'm gonna set up Treb and then allow him to take the reins. But so earlier this season, Treb and I had a conversation kind of about Bayern, I guess the UWCL in general, but specifically about Bayern. And I was kind of like, Bayern, whatever. Like they're not that good a team. And Treb was like, no, they're good. And so fast forward to today, when I saw Arsenal were up 2-0, I was like, see? I was like, what was Arsenal worried about? Like, they got this fucking Bayern. Like, Arsenal, they got this. And then I see a text in the group chat from Treb talking about missing Leah Williamson. And I was like, oh, okay. So with that being said, Treb, tell us what happened.
I mean, first of all, Arsenal have the hardest. Like I said this when the Champions League draw was made. Like Arsenal have the hardest group. Like everyone kept talking about how Chelsea have Barcelona again, but like that's all they have is Barcelona. Arsenal's, people are saying like Arsenal lost their first 2 matches of Champions League. They had to play Olympique Lyonnais. They've had to play Bayern on the road. They still have to play Real Madrid. So for defending champions, they have 3 of like the quarterfinalists in last season's Champions League. Like it's not they don't get to play scrubs. Like they don't get to play, a bunch of teams that they quote unquote should beat easily. And even then they're doing it right now. Like Marc said, like Arsenal started the season without their best defender and without their leader on the pitch, which is Leah Williamson. And I think it's the latter part of that has really started to rear its ugly head over the last couple of months, like really throughout the whole season. I mean, I touched on it earlier. We talked about with the draw to Aston Villa, which felt like a loss. We talk about it with the 0-0 draw to Man United. We talk about it, not so much with Chelsea because I think that was more refs than Arsenal playing poorly because they did enough to win that match. But just when you look at this Bayern match, like they were up. Emily Fox gets a goal in the 5th minute. Mariona gets a goal in the 23rd minute. Arsenal completely control the first 45 minutes of that match. And then the second half starts, and I've never seen a team completely capitulate the way that Arsenal did. Blackstenius was taken off in the 59th minute, I think it was, for Frida Manum. And who else was it that came off in that 59th minute? Caitlin Ford came off for Chloe Kelly. And I think that coupled with the fact that Bayern brought in Pernell Harder, who, to be fair, like she's been on a tear lately. Like I looked up how she's been form-wise. She scored 10 goals in the last 8 matches, including today. So she is legitimately been on a tear. But I mean, what feels like history repeating itself, like she comes in against Arsenal and she completely just makes the midfield look non-existent, and she makes the defense look silly. And her injection in the game really helped change things a lot. That first goal she didn't have nothing to do with really, but again, it was just, you could just tell Arsenal just weren't, I don't know, that second half started and Arsenal just weren't themselves when the subs were made. Like that starting 11 did so well to control the match. And then the subs came in and they did everything they could to lose the match. It felt like there was just too much space given. There was no defending around. There was no leadership on the pitch to get players to kind of calm down and take a breath and see the match out. Bayern got that first goal, and immediately it felt like, okay, like it felt like Arsenal need a third goal, otherwise they're in trouble. And sure enough, they almost get a third goal. I think it was Russo crossing the ball out, and Monum just didn't get enough of it on it to get that third goal to make it 3-1. And literally seconds later, like on that next counterattack, Bayern come down, and that's when Pernell Harder got the goal to make it 2-2. And at that point, you're just feeling like, here we go again. And it feels like deja vu, where we're talking about Arsenal after a Bayern loss that they probably shouldn't have lost, and they lose in embarrassing fashion. And it's like, where does this team go from here? And they just miss Leah Williamson, because as much as I respect Kim Little as a captain, and as much as, you know, I understand what she does for the team, I'm a firm believer that just because you're a captain doesn't mean you're the leader of the team. And I think that it was evident in the Champions League win against Barcelona that it was Leah Williamson leading that charge, you know, having 20 defensive stops on top of being the one that was like getting the team to stay in their place and motivating the team vocally. Like, they miss her in the worst way. I think that her absence is responsible for probably three of their poor results. Because again, like Aston Villa was a draw, not lost. But I think three of those poor results, where you look at Arsenal and say like they should have won and didn't, it's because they didn't have Leah Williamson. And I think this was another match where even if they give up that first goal to cut it to 2-1, I think Leah talks to the team and it's like, look, we're not giving up that second. Like, we're going to see this match out. It's going to be ugly. It's going to suck. You're going to hate yourselves after this, but we're coming out of here with this fucking win because there's no other alternative. And they just don't have that player. And I think, you know, we were talking about it before recording, where I think that there's two big issues with Arsenal coming into the season. I think one, when you sell Leia Volti to Juventus and you don't have a replacement, that is a critical mistake. To me, that's borderline fireable offense for Claire Wheatley, because how do you let someone go like Wally and say, we're not even going to replace you immediately? Like, that is irresponsible and that's reckless. And it's coming back to bite Arsenal in the ass because they have no one in the midfield that can defend properly and hold on to some of these players that have, you know, a lot of creativity. And then again, the second part is just no Leah Williams. Like, I've said this so many times. Coming into the season, we were made to believe that Leah Williamson would probably be out late September, early October. And almost immediately, as soon as the window closed, it turned into actually she's going to be around December. And that you just can't have that. Yeah, like this match sucked. Like, I think if you would have told me Bayern wins the match 3-2, I would have expected it, just because, again, like I've said before, this isn't an Arsenal team. They won the Champions League last year, but everything that could have gone right for them went right for them last year in that Champions League run. And they performed far more better than what they were. And like I said it at the time, Renee was able to get the absolute best out of so many players on that roster. This year, it's been the exact opposite, right? Like, if you talk about balance and cosmic forces, like this year, everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for Arsenal. The players that they got the best out of, they're not getting the best out of. A lot of players are playing some of their worst football right now. I mean, injuries are just piling up. A couple days ago, we heard that Katie Reed is out with ACL tear. She's out for the season. We're still waiting on Leia to come back. There was rumors and reports today that Kara Cooney-Cross is on a medically kind of sanctioned minutes restriction of only 30 minutes at the moment. You have Chloe Kelly, who I think a lot of people would figure would start, seems to only come off the bench as a sub for 20 minutes a match. So I think that there's something there. I've said it all season. Like, it feels like there's something going on with Daphne Van. So I think there's a lot more happening with Arsenal in terms of like knocks and injuries than is being spoken about publicly, which, like, to be fair, as long as they're not breaking league rules, it doesn't really matter what I think, right? We're not privy to that information, but I think it's very clear that this is an Arsenal team that is dealing with a lot more than what's on the surface. And I think what's very clear after this Bayern match is this is an Arsenal team that needs to go into January and get a defensive mid in the worst way. I don't really expect them to get center back help because Catley's done decent enough, and you do have Reed on the roster, and you do have hopefully Leia Williamson coming back before Christmas. But I think when January hits, this team needs to get some midfield help because that midfield outside of the starting 11 is atrocious. And just the last point I'll make, like there's a lot of Arsenal fans who coming into this match kept getting on Renee for not rotating the team and kept getting on Renee for putting the same starting 11 and continues to get on Renee for making subs at the wrong time. But like, how can you have faith in the players outside of the starting 11 when you put them in the match and they give up last minute goals to Aston Villa, when you put them in the match and they don't get the job done against Chelsea, when you put them in the match and they can't get a goal against United, when you put them in the match and they give up a 2-0 lead against Bayern on the road? Like, how can I have faith in that? I don't have faith in that. So how can the coach have faith in that? You know, if you're a player on the fringe, it's your job to come in and put in a shift. And if you're not putting in those shifts, I can't feel sorry for you when you don't get minutes. Because as it stands right now, outside of the starting 11, I don't think anyone deserves to be on the team. Like, I'm going to just say it bluntly. Like, I think if you sold everyone outside of that starting 11, save Chloe Kelly, I wouldn't be pressed about it. Replace them all. And honestly, if we're talking starting 11,
you just spent $1 million, £1 million on Olivia Smith.
Okay, well, her like I count.
She
her
doesn't. She's injured. She's coming back from injury,
right? Like she's injured. Like she's normally a starter. Like I think what I'm saying is outside of like players like Olivia Smith, who is coming off the bench because of injury,
you know who's starting in place of her, and that she can go.
Just outside of that first 14 players, you sell everyone. I wouldn't be pressed. You sell Jenna Nyswanger tomorrow, I wouldn't be pressed. You sell Carrie Cooney Cross tomorrow, I wouldn't be pressed.
Y'all don't want the young patch?
I think this team
Tom,
needs. I think this team needs to like inject itself with talent in the worst way. And I think Arsenal fans felt like the moment they saw Leia Volti to Juventus with no replacement, that was the signal of like, oh shit, we're going into this season really against the wall. And it's biting us in the ass right now. And so the title is gone. I feel like I'm not willing to say Champions League is gone because I think if there's any team in the Champions League like field that can go through playoffs and get on a run, especially as they get healthier, it's Arsenal. Like, again, I sounded crazy when I said it against Barcelona. Like, I feel like if there's any team fully healthy playing on their day that can go through playoffs and kind of make a run in the Champions League, it's Arsenal. So as long as they finish top 12, I'm not going to completely say that Champions League is gone. And I still think they finished top 12 because their last 3 matches are home to Real Madrid. They still have FC20 and they still have, I think it was the debutant, whatever their name is, the debutantes, the
OH Leuven.
Yeah, OH Leuven. Those people. Like, I still think
that should be 9 points.
At worst, Arsenal gets 7 points out of those 3 matches.
Yeah.
And that's enough to finish 12th. But again, like today was like, I'm in a very bad mood because of that match. Because again, I expect to win against Bayern on the road? Probably not. But how we lost that match is inexcusable to me. It's unacceptable. I think, like I said, I think that Claire's job is on the line coming into January. Because you just can't. And I think that there's a lot of players that you need to reevaluate because you want to cry all season about not getting your chance and not getting minutes. When you get your minutes, get the job done.
You need to earn them. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to earn them. Like, I love Kira Cooney Cross, but like, unless you tell me she's legitimately hurt to come in and like give that much space to Pernell Harder on that second goal, like that's inexcusable. To give up that much space on that third goal is inexcusable, right? Like,
okay, I've noticed that as a trend though. Even in the Chelsea game, they give so much space, and they don't actually start like defending or coming to the ball until the opponent's already in the box.
Well, the thing, and this is why I say where they missed Leia, because they did the same exact thing against Barcelona, where they gave up a lot of space. The difference was you had number 6 back there.
Yeah.
And when you have
and that
your
seemed to be
leader, and when you have the best defender in
maybe
Europe,
that's Renee's like tactic, like that's how she teaches them.
yeah,
It's like, okay, don't, yeah, but like exactly like you're saying, like on the pitch when you have Leah, then like everyone follows suit, and like if you're able to like close out and actually stop them once they get
yeah,
to the box, it's
like
fine.
on that first goal, like I think Catley has done a great job as a center back, but you look at the replay of that first goal, she was in a 2-1 counterattack, already a tough situation. But she already made the decision to favor one player over the other. So she's already committed somewhere. And instead of fully committing, putting her body on the line to like get a foot out and fully dive and disrupt the cross, she kind of just like half plays it. And the cross goes through, easy tap in goal for who was it? Alara that just came off the bench. So like you know, in that situation, I think Leia Williamson, she comes in and she at least tries to get that dive. She at least disrupts that pass a little bit better. And again, like it's hard to compare someone to one of the best defenders in Europe, but like that's what Arsenal are missing right now. And that's what they've been missing the whole season, where they're just missing, like I said, it's two phases. I think they're missing Leia's talent, but more importantly, they're just missing Leia's influence as a leader on that pitch. Because it can't be understated how much having a true extension of the coach on the pitch is. And when you don't have that, you get what Arsenal have looked like for most of the season, which is a team that just looks lost. Like they just look
That's the thing. They
so
look lost. Every
at the end
even
of
the ones
matches.
where they've won,
Yeah,
they
just
still
look
looked lost at times.
They just look lost. So
I'm just gonna say one more thing.
We need the winter break. We need the winter break so bad.
I like, you know, what you said about Renee brought out the best of all the players of last season, and it was, you know, like you said, I think it is deja vu. Like the Bayern match last season, the first one, is what sparked this whole change, and so hopefully we'll see a spark again and change everything. But I think it's also on Renee to, like, right now she's plateaued and all the players have plateaued, and she needs to kind of try to pull something else out of them. And so we'll see. Maybe this is something that, like, you know, hopefully the next match is one of those like,
well, listen,
reset
the next
ones,
match is the North London Derby.
Yeah,
it's against Tottenham, and
hopefully
so like
it's a reset.
It's
Get
one of those
mad,
like I hope
use that as motivation.
we're praying for Tottenham, because like that needs to be a 5-0. Like I'm serious. Like this needs to be one of those matches where you look at it and say, "Oh shit, Arsenal were pissed."
Yeah,
because like
so
your season is slipping from
hopefully
you.
It's deja vu is what I'm saying. Just like run it back. Figure, you know, this is what the point, like turning point was last season. It should be the turning point again this season. But something needs to happen. Like the difference I also saw between like pre-Bayern last season, post-Bayern, is that Arsenal wasn't shooting before, and then they started just taking more shots
Well,
afterwards.
last season Bayern
Now
just
they've
came in
gone
and
back.
dogged the shit out of us. Like let's just call it.
No,
what
the
it
first
is.
one, yeah. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like after that, like when Renee started, she got the players to shoot more. They felt more confident to just like attack. Now it seems like they're reverting back to their like, oh, we got to take like a couple extra touches, be a little more cheeky with it, like be more hesitant, don't actually shoot. Like Chloe Kelly's still one of the few who will just shoot, even if it's like whatever. The more shots you get, the more will be on target. Like I don't know. Everyone's just like, just shoot the damn ball, and yet stop trying to be all like pretty and like whatever. You're not always going to find the perfect pass or get on the perfect, just shoot it sometimes. And so I think they just need to get back into that rhythm.
I think there are 2 players right now
Also,
who have like twerked for Arsenal hard the last couple of weeks and months that Arsenal can go get that will absolutely change their season. One of them is Cersei out of Germany, who's a known diehard Arsenal fan and attacker. I think she would bring a lot in the attack and shooting and just creating goals. And most importantly, I think Arsenal need to call the Pacific Northwest right now. And they need to call the Portland Thorns. And they need to say, hey, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, however
So
many.
Smith is on a free.
However many fake Monopoly Jessica Berman bucks you need to get us Sam Coffee on the first plane to London.
They need that
The
caffeine
moment you
boost.
end up out of the playoffs or winning whatever the result is, she needs to be on that plane to London December 31st at 12:01 a.m. immediately. Because that's who they need. They need a defensive mid in the worst way. And I think even though she signed that extension, I think Coffee would be lured over for Arsenal. Because just 2 days ago, she had a podcast where she was talking about how much she loves Arsenal. I think if Arsenal make that call and say, hey, we think you've done it enough in the NWSL, come over, you're going to play. That, they need to do that. Because they need a defensive mid in the worst way.
Yeah. Okay. That was good. I kind of wish I timed how long that was.
I wish I didn't watch that match, to be honest. Watching that loss,
Fair.
I'm so upset right now. I'm in such a bad mood.
So upset your voice is starting to crack.
It is. You can hear it, right? I thought it was just me. Okay. My voice is going because I just have been spending all day talking about how much I hate that result. I'm so upset. Alrighty. Wrap us up so I can get a throat loss.
We will wrap it up. We will quickly preview match day 9. We'll just shout out our predictions. We have some big ones. We have the Manchester Derby.
Bookend. This weekend is bookended by derbies.
Exactly. Starting with the Manchester Derby, which, like I said, will be good and important. Especially for United to not drop more points, because if they still want to race for that top 2 or top 3, they can't drop any more points, and they're currently 4 points behind City.
Yep. 4 points in third.
What do we think? Okay, Treb, you can go first. I'll just go down the list. Treb. Also, this is at the Etihad. 1:30 p.m. local time on Saturday is the kickoff. Remember, Ella Toon scored a hat trick last time.
Come on, Deepti. Come on now. Come on now.
That honestly might have changed what I was going to say. No, fuck it. I'm going to say 2-1 City. I think City at the top of the table. They're kind of feeling themselves right now. They're healthy. Like I said, they are the healthiest of the top teams right now. They are the healthiest of the top teams right now. You can keep making that face. They are the healthiest of the top teams right now.
Maybe.
I got this as a
Chelsea's not fully healthy yet. They're getting healthier, but they're not fully healthy yet.
Yeah.
I got this
2-1 City.
This is 1-1 draw.
That further affirms 2-1 City, because we saw what Tom did against Everton.
I picked a loss. This is a draw. I think Jess Park gets her leg back, and
I will say that would be funny if Jess Park gets a brace or a hat trick.
Oh, that's true. This is
that is that's true.
I mean, honestly, this I do.
I might have to change my mind.
I do I feel like Jess Park gets her leg back and they score 1, but then I feel like Grace Clinton is the one that comes and saves the point for City.
Yeah,
so
they're gonna chuck it up to Bunny, who's gonna head it in for a goal. Let's be real. And I think this is also important. There was word today that I saw that Fallon Torres-Joyce is dealing with a knock.
Yeah.
So I think that's also important.
But I don't think she doesn't play this one.
I don't think she doesn't play, but I'm just saying important. I'm just trying to give you all the context before you make the picks. I'm just trying to give you all the context before you make the picks.
All the details. I'm still thinking. Marc, what do you say?
I'm thinking 2-2 draw.
Ugh. This is how I come back in with this.
Okay.
City's gonna get this win. I have.
No one's picked a United win, so I think I'm gonna go against y'all and say United.
Oh, you're definitely not getting points back.
I'm just trying to. Today, I feel like being different. Okay. Let's go. I'll say 2-3 United. I don't know, something about the Etihad. Maybe I'd say something different if they were at Joy Stadium, but okay. Next up on that's the only Saturday match. The rest are on Sunday. Sunday noon local kickoff. We have Villa versus London City at Villa Park. Also, I think most of these are going to be at the quote-unquote bigger stadiums because it's again internet break for them.
Yeah, Brighton is actually
Except
playing this match
Tottenham.
at the Amex.
Yeah. But first, Villa, London City at Villa Park. What do we got? This one, I'm intrigued.
Okay, this is gonna sound real crazy, but I got a 4-4 draw. I think that this will be the most. I think this.
I'm sorry. What match are we talking about again?
Yes. Villa versus London City. I think that this will be a defending optional match. I think it'll be end-to-end stuff.
How many penalties?
4-4. Oh, at least 2.
I was about to say that's the real question. How many penalties? how many penalties for against London City?
I think London City. Oh, they're away though. I was gonna go London City. I'm just gonna go with my gut on all these. My first choice. I was gonna say London City win. You know what? I'll go with a 3-2 again. So 2-3 London City.
What you feeling, Mark?
Wait, did you say 3-2 London City?
Yeah.
That was gonna be my guess.
You can still guess it.
Well, now I don't wanna.
Just don't take mine.
I'm gonna do 4-2 London City.
Good.
Okay.
It's gonna be 2-1 London City.
2-1. Okay. No one's going with the Villa win.
Yeah, they're away. Well, because they're away.
Watch Villa wax that ass.
Villa's at home.
Villa's not gonna do. That's what I said. Because London City is away.
So you think London City is gonna win?
Right, but the only reason I don't think it's gonna be by more is because they're away.
Oh,
that's why I said 2-1. Yeah, like I think if they were at home, it would probably be closer to like 4-1, 4-2.
Gotcha.
But I think
no one
because they're away, I think it's gonna be 2-1. Yeah, no one.
None of us think Villa's gonna win.
Not me. They got their big result last week. They're not going to follow that up with another one.
Fair. That's the thing. They are a roller coaster, very much so.
Exactly.
All right, moving on. We have Brighton versus Leicester at Amex Stadium Sunday noon as well. Yeah, this one's hard because Brighton's in a slump and Leicester's like, eh.
Brighton don't have an attack.
Leicester's got fight.
Give me
pick all the away teams. I might just do that. I literally am going to.
I definitely have 1-0 to Leicester. They get smash and grab.
That's what I was gonna say.
And Yanina like Brighton can't score, and Yanina Leipzig is in goal.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I might do the same. I was gonna say 1-0 Leicester as well.
Mark, what you thinking?
Thinking 1-1.
I was about to say that's mine too. 1-1.
Right.
I think Ndozie finally kind of wakes up a little bit, but I think Leicester gets 1. And I just don't think Brighton have the juice to get a second.
Yeah, fair. All right, Liverpool versus Chelsea at St. Helens Park.
Oh my God.
Not at Anfield, unfortunately.
A healthier Chelsea against Liverpool. This is going to be a fucking murder.
Dog, Gareth Taylor didn't know what to do with Chelsea when he had more talent. And you're telling me he's got less talent and he's going to know what to do? Touchdown, 7-0.
7.
I guess that kind of takes the juice out of my
prediction. How big is your
prediction.
massacre?
I'm thinking 5-1.
What were you saying? Okay.
I was going to say 4-0 Chelsea.
Okay.
I think Sam Kerr gets a brace.
All right, they are. Ooh, yeah, I guess the key, does Liverpool
There's
score
no
or
shot
not?
Liverpool coming.
There's no
shot
chance.
Liverpool get the result in this match.
Oh, no, I meant, do they
I
just
could be
score?
wrong,
Do
but
they
I just don't
score
think they get the
one?
result. I don't think
Um,
because all they have is Kopax, and I don't think Kopax gets one.
getting healthier. So how many are Chelsea gonna score?
And
I'll
they have Naomi
say,
Gurman back. There's no shot.
yeah, 4-0 is a good shout. I'll just do 5-0 to be, but yeah, I'll say 5-0.
So we got all of it covered. Liverpool have no chance, is what we're saying. Holy. Sorry to Liverpool fans out there that might be listening. Like, I'm sorry your team is this way.
I want to know why they're not playing at Anfield. What's going on there? But anyway, West Ham versus Everton is next at Chigwell Stadium, Sunday noon, local kickoff. So I guess not all the matches are at the big ones. But still, West Ham Everton.
That's a tough one.
Give me 3-2 Everton.
3-2 Everton. Okay. West Ham scoring 2. That's you're asking a lot of them.
Listen, that cup match helped. Like I feel like
Fair.
I feel like
Subway Cup.
Vivian Asai and Shakira Martinez can each score a goal, and then it go from.
Marc or Treb?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Everton.
2-0?
Yeah.
2-0 Everton. I think I'm going to go 2-1 Everton.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, the reason that it is not at Anfield, the Liverpool-Chelsea match, is because they are selling tickets to the Anfield experience, where they were having evening with Stan Collymore the night before.
Nice.
Okay.
And also the men play there 2 weeks in a row when they come back from international break, like 5 days later. So I think that's probably more to do with it. Unfortunately. How do you think, well, anyway, I think that's a different conversation for a different pod, I would say. How do you think Liverpool fans feel most of their resources for their women went to Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak, who've helped their men's team do absolutely fuck all? Anyway.
I will just say for the record that Merseyside is sky blue. Thank you very much.
Who are we waiting on? Treb, you're
It's me, Everton and West Ham. I think I'm going to be different. It's going to be 1-1 draw.
All right.
I don't think Everton. I just think it's 1-1 draw. I don't know. I'm having more faith in West Ham.
That's a good. Yeah, I was going between 1-1 or 2-1. I'm just going to go with that.
I think West Ham follow up their point with a point.
Fair. And then finally, the North London Derby. This one's at Brisbane Road. It's not at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because the night before there's a boxing match of some sort. Spurs.
That's actually fair.
Arsenal.
That's actually like a legitimate reason.
I believe
it's not like some charity match or experience bullshit. It's like an actual, like, this is making us $50 million.
Yeah, like it's a
boxing match.
The main event is Chris Eubank Jr. versus Connor Benn.
Oh, that's a Eubank match too. Yeah, that's a money. Yeah.
Well, they call it the Beyonce Stadium for a reason. It's the big event stadium. So
it is the big event stadium.
As an American, I can't fault them for that. Like, that's kind of what we do with our stadiums, where we double them as like concerts and shit. So if you got a big event, like, I get it. Like, even the Bulls got to leave for Ringling Brothers. You know what I'm saying? Lakers got to leave their home for the Grammys. Like, you know what I'm saying? People got to make sacrifices for the money, you know?
All right. Do we think this is a show what we got match?
Oh yeah. This is a get right match. This is a get right match.
Get right match. That's what you called it. Yeah.
5-1 Arsenal.
So how many? 5-1.
I'm gonna go 5-0.
I hope we.
Oh no, Spurs is 100% scoring first. Like,
Yeah,
that is
Spurs are gonna score.
100% happening. And
They're
then
getting
Arsenal is
15
gonna
minutes goal.
Arsenal's gonna then rip off 4 goals. Give me 4-1.
Okay, oops.
I don't know
I
if I
was
like
gonna
all of us
say
going with Arsenal, to be
4-2. I'm saying 4-2. I think Bethington scores, and I think Katinka Tanberg, is that her name? Fries Tanberg scores as well. But yeah, I think then second half we come out with bang, bang, bang.
It better be. Listen, if Arsenal draw or lose this match, I'm coming on next week, and I am not going to like. You thought I was in a bad mood today. Our season's over.
Oh yeah,
Everything is over.
everything is
It's all over.
Fire
Sell the
fire
team,
Renee
it's
over.
over.
Everything is
Fire
over.
Renee over.
Everybody, listen.
He's like, get rid of everyone.
I will lose so much faith in Renee if we end up losing or drawing that match. Like,
That's
I'm just
true.
being honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like,
actually.
I just because to like it. Listen, like we got to win that match. I don't even want to think about it until it happens. We're winning that match.
I'm assuming that one is also going to be on BBC because that one is Sunday at 2:30 p.m. local time. All right. I actually did. I went with an away win every time. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully
Good
we
luck.
get more points. Actually, what's our point total now? I didn't see what it was from last week. Let me just see. But like I
Two of us
said,
got points
only
the whole week. Me and Mark.
No, I didn't get any points.
Or what?
no,
Me and Tom,
yeah.
right?
Okay,
Yeah,
I was
Tom.
at 33 points. I'm still at 33 because I got 0 points. Tom was at 30 and is now at 31. Mark is at 26, remains at 26, and Treb was at 23 and is now at 24.
Moving on up.
So moving up. We'll
To
see
the
how we
deluxe
do this
apartment in the
week.
sky.
Hopefully a bit better. But that is all from us. Thank you for listening to our crash outs. This was a good
Finally got a
therapy
piece of that
pie. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. Hit that follow button to stay up to date when new episodes drop. Leave us a rating, leave us a review, talk to us on Blue Sky. Just follow us, support us, whatever it is. Still give us ideas of what the loser has to do for this after this prediction game. We still haven't really thought of anything. But otherwise, we'd love to hear your feedback. 12 teams, 6 matches, 4 hosts.
Coffee with a shot of espresso. Arsenal, get on that shit right now.
Come on, City! Win the derby! Don't let us lose to our hat trick!